Welcome to this special episode on the Federalist Papers, a cornerstone of American history and governance. Today, we'll dive into what these papers were, their critical importance during a pivotal time in our nation's founding, who they were written for, and why they remain vital today. We'll explore their influence on Supreme Court rulings and why every American should be familiar with them. Let's get started. This script is designed to run about 8 minutes, so settle in. First, what exactly were the Federalist Papers? They were a series of 85 essays published between October 1787 and May 1788, primarily in New York newspapers like the Independent Journal, the New York Packet, and the Daily Advertiser. Written under the pseudonym Publius, the authors were Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay, three key founding fathers. Hamilton penned 51 of them, Madison 29, and Jay 5, with some collaboration. These essays were later compiled into 2 volumes in 1788. The papers systematically explained and defended the proposed U.S. Constitution, which had just been drafted at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia from May to September 1787. They broke down the document's structure, from the need for a stronger union to the roles of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. For instance, Federalist No. 1, as Hamilton wrote, sets the stage by calling the ratification debate a moment to decide if societies can establish good government through reflection and choice, rather than accident and force. Why were they so important in their time? The United States was operating under the Articles of Confederation, adopted in 1781, which created a weak central government that couldn't effectively tax, regulate commerce, or maintain a standing army. This led to economic chaos, like Shays' Rebellion in 1786 to 1787, where farmers in Massachusetts rose up against debt collection, highlighting the Confederation's inability to preserve order or unity. The Federalist Papers emerged as a direct response to push for ratification of the new Constitution, which aimed to create a more energetic federal government. They countered anti-Federalist arguments, essays from opponents like Brutus and Cato, who feared the Constitution would lead to tyranny and erode state sovereignty. In New York, ratification was fiercely contested. The state convention in Poughkeepsie in June-July 1788 was a battleground. The papers helped sway public opinion, providing detailed rationales for why the Constitution's checks and balances would protect liberty. Without them, ratification might have failed in key states, potentially dooming the Union. As Madison noted in Federalist No. 37, the Constitution was a product of compromise, addressing the difficulties inherent in the very nature of the undertaking. Who was the intended audience? Explicitly, the papers were addressed to the people of the state of New York, as seen in the salutation of each essay. New York was a crucial battleground state, large, influential, and skeptical, with powerful anti-federalists like Governor George Clinton. But the audience extended beyond New York. The essays were reprinted in other states and read by delegates, newspaper subscribers, and educated citizens across the young republic. They targeted thoughtful readers, merchants, lawyers, farmers, and politicians who could influence ratification conventions. Publius aimed to educate and persuade the public, assuming an audience capable of engaging with complex arguments on republicanism, federalism, and human nature. Shifting gears to today. Why are the Federalist Papers important now, over 2 centuries later? In an era of political division, rapid change, and debates over government power, they offer timeless insights into the Constitution's original design. They remind us of the framers' intent to balance liberty with order, as in Federalist No. 51, where Madison famously wrote, "If men were angels, no government would be necessary," emphasizing the need for ambition to counteract ambition through separation of powers. They play a significant role in Supreme Court rulings, serving as a key source for understanding the Constitution's original meaning. Justices often cite them in opinions, especially originalists who look to the framers' views. For example, in landmark cases like District of Columbia versus Heller on the Second Amendment, the court referenced Federalist number 46 to interpret the right to bear arms. In Prince Verse, United States, Federalist number 39 was used to affirm federalism limits on commandeering states. Citations have increased over time, with the papers treated as persuasive authority on issues from judicial review to executive power. Even non-originalists reference them for historical context, making the papers a most sacred text in constitutional interpretation. This leads to why every American should be familiar with them. The Federalist Papers aren't just historical artifacts. They're a blueprint for our democracy. They explain why we have three branches, federalism and protections against tyranny, concepts at the heart of current debates on everything from presidential immunity to states' rights. Knowing them empowers citizens to engage critically with politics, spot demagoguery, and appreciate the delicate balance the framers struck. In a time when misinformation spreads fast, reading Publius fosters informed patriotism, reminding us that our government was designed for reflection and choice. Every voter, student, and leader benefits from this foundational wisdom. In conclusion, the Federalist Papers were essential in forging our nation and continue to shape its legal and civic life. Stay tuned. Our next series will feature each paper rewritten in today's language for easier understanding, with commentary on each section to unpack its meaning and relevance. Like and subscribe so you can stay informed when we publish a new paper. Thanks for watching.